This is the C. Risner Cutlery Lake Champlain Barlow in clip point. This comes in clip point and a beautiful sheep's foot blade. This is Lake Champlain, named after the USS Lake Champlain, an aircraft carrier that C. Risner, that's Clarence Risner, founder of this company, served on, I think in the Korea War era. Austin Jackson, the designer of this knife, and the owner of TraditionalPocketKnives and C. Risner Cutlery, made this in honor of his grandfather. And his grandfather's the one who started this company and started his lifelong interest in traditional pocket knives and slip joints. And so that's where his company came from. Well, you can tune into my conversation with Austin on the Knife Junkie podcast, fresh this week, but I'm not sure when you're watching this, so you'll be able to find it if you just search The Knife Junkie and Austin Jackson. So here we go. This thing is a real beautiful knife. It is a very large Barlow style. What is Barlow? Well, it has a bolster that's nearly, well, it's usually 1/3 the length. This is almost a half. This is a huge bolster here that sandwiches the spring and the tang of the blade, giving it incredible lateral stability and just overall strength. So it's a Barlow, and it's got titanium bolster and liners. That's one piece, so they're integral pieces there. And then in the center you have that steel spring, beautifully hafted. Everything is really smooth all around. And then here you can, at some angles, see where that blade meets the spring. At other angles, it's just so flush. And then when you close the knife halfway, you get that great half stop. And you have a flush spring at that half stop. Now this is not something that is structurally necessary to have that flat spring. It just shows engineering prowess. It shows that the maker cared, or the designer cared enough to design it that way. But it serves no real other purpose. But it's something that slip joint people like to see, for sure. Just like this awesome walk and talk. This is a fun one to just open and close. Yeah, you get a full grip on this big knife. The blade here, as I said, M390, and full height hollow grind is it's 3 1/4 inches long, so a pretty big slip joint. Pretty big for a slip joint knife there. On the blade, you have a nice swedge. You have that machine ground satin that I like a lot. You have a very thin behind the edge blade geometry there. Double milled pulls. I really like the way those look, and they feel great. Now, that full height hollow grind terminates at the spine, giving you that sort of widening that your fingers can grasp onto easily. But I gotta say, having those milled in fullers there, those nail necks, if you will, are really great for grabbing this blade and just opening it up with confidence and quickness. So you do that just to check the action. It's not just to look tough, though I think I do look tough when I do that. That's something I got from Mike Latham years ago, and now I see Austin Jackson in his videos. He does it, and that's an old school, he was explaining to me, that's an old school way of testing the action, because if you're holding the blade and pulling it all the way open, you can kind of feel the action, but it's going to be tainted by your pulling it out, and it's also not going to be something you can illustrate unless you feel it. So if you open the blade till right before it snaps open and you just push on the edge, you can see it snap open. So that's kind of a cool thing. I always used to think it was kind of corny, and then I really got to understand the why, and now I think it's cool. So there you go, for what that is worth. So the Lake Champlain Barlow is a big knife. Let me show you comparisons with other famous popular slip joints. Here it is with a standard trapper, in this case a case, and I love this knife. And we're all used to the size of that. It's a pretty big knife, and we can see here this is even bigger. But trappers are generally, you know, pretty big pattern. Also pretty common. And then here it is with the old Swiss Army knife. I can never remember the measurements. Maybe, what is this, 91 millimeters? This is like the big size, the regular size. This is the Pioneer X with the, or is this the Farmer X? Someone can tell me. I think this is the Farmer X because it's got the awl there. It's got the awl, and the X refers to the scissors. The skizzers right there for the X. But this is dwarfing that Swiss Army knife. Victorinox, I should say. I like this knife a lot. Never carry it, but I like it a lot. Let's see. Here, let me compare it with another C. Risner Cutlery design. This is the Ohio River Jack, which I absolutely love. And it's a great, great EDC pocket knife. And it is much smaller by half an inch in the blade at least. And I guess I'd say a full inch overall. Very nice knife. I love this. Riding in its Duty's Daggers slip here. Go to Duty's Daggers on YouTube and you can find out how to get one for yourself. It really actually fits beautifully. I don't know why I was just bungling that. Okay, so a couple of others real quick. Let's see, here it is with a like-minded soul. This is the Big Bro, a nice big jackknife from Jack Wolf Knives, and that is much smaller, but a nice big hand-filling knife. I love this one. And then here it is. Okay, here's another fancy pants knife. This is the 97 from GEC. Everything about this knife is perfect. This perfectly beautiful bone. I love this. Is my favorite. This autumn colored jig bone with all the different warm tones and the jigging and the beautiful big bolster and that gorgeous clip point blade. The only thing is it's so loose. I mean, it's like a 3. So if this had like a really awesome spring, it'd be like my favorite slip joint of all time. The only slip joint I have that's bigger than this, I think. No, one of two. There's another one. But then here, if these are not in your wheelhouse, maybe this is the Culpeper, similarly lengthed, similarly sized knife, I guess I'd say, from Kershaw. If all these fancy slip joints are too much, I get it. This is a special sort of part of the collecting love, and some people like Austin collect like this from the very beginning, and others kind of discover along the way that they have a great use for slip joints and feel a real connection to the past through them. But say you don't want to spend any of that money and you're just starting out, want something like it. The Kershaw Culpeper is inexpensive, but pretty damn sweet, I gotta say. If you're just getting into slip joints and want a single bladed jack, it's a good recommendation. And one last one I'm going to show just because I'm excited because I just got it. This is the QSP Hedgehog, TraditionalPocketKnives.com exclusive in M390 and jigged titanium. Just a beautiful knife. Lighter than I thought from looking at it, which is a ridiculous thing to say, but you know how you watch videos enough, you develop your idea of how big it is, no matter how many size comparisons you see. You also get your idea of how it's going to feel in hand and how heavy it is and how big it is. And this actually is delightfully smaller than I sort of imagined. I was, I guess, kind of under the spell of this Lake Champlain Barlow. I knew it wasn't going to be as big, but this is a great knife, and I'm going to talk about this at another point, but so cool. All right, this one, the Lake Champlain Barlow, I'm so into, and now I'm starting to obsess and watch videos over the one with the sheep's foot blade. That is the one that most people have gotten, and I always go for the clip point first. I love clip points, and I love this clip point, but I'm just digging the look of the and the usefulness of that straight edge from the sheep's foot. So that might be in my near future. We shall see. Thanks for watching, and do check this out. Just go to TraditionalPocketKnives.com.